All right. Without further ado, let's dig into the fifth installment. We're already halfway through, Dustin.
This is crazy. This is crazy. I can't believe we're going at this breakneck pace here.
Time is flying, but yes, it's our fifth installment of No Ticket Required. Let's go hit that button. We're going to dive into the 1989 classic? No Holds Barred, or as I call it, No Holds Barred.
That kind of vaguely sounds like your Bill Walton impression.
No Holds Barred. I was in the mountains of Mount Shasta, and I was thinking about Jabbar.
And I thought that, Vince McMahon approached me and he said, maybe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will be in my latest picture, No Holds Barred.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in that film, the Enter the Dragon, and I should have been cast in that film. But Vince McMahon approached me and he said, "Why don't you put on this Bigfoot costume and wrestle the Undertaker instead?" And I said, "No, that's no thanks, Vince. I've got my dignity." But anyway, No Holds Barred. We're reviewing that tonight, and it's based off of the Mr. McMahon series we did about 2.5 months ago. We did a pre-recorded video where we showed it on Saturday. We talked about the Mr. McMahon limited series on Netflix, and it happened to come across this movie, No Holds Barred, which I've seen. I saw it when I was a kid, and I watched it again on Sunday. I'm kind of glad I didn't pay for it. Thank God for Tubi.
Yes.
But we're going to dig into this episode, and but Dustin, I can't remember if you said you saw it or you didn't, or you haven't seen it.
I have not seen it. The only references I saw the other movie. I can't remember if it was Suburban Commando or whatever.
Yes.
The one where Sherman Helmsley is the villain in it. So I don't know. That's the only Hulk Hogan vehicle I've seen. I was a big Hulkster fan back in the day. I hadn't seen this. The only way I found out about it was through the Mr. McMahon documentary, like you said, and also hearing Bruce Pritchard talk about it briefly on Something to Wrestle over the years. So I had no prior exposure to this movie. But you know what, Ryan? You always toss it to me. I know you said you saw it when you were a kid, but it's been a long time. I'm going to let Encyclopedia Britannica lead off with this one.
Okay. So the only notable people you really find in this film are Hulk Hogan, obviously, Kurt Fuller, who in every film just has the most punchable face you'll ever encounter. David Paymer, who is in such classics as City Slickers. And also the man who plays, let's see, who is he? Where is he? Oh, so Jake Bullitt. The guy who played Jake Bullitt was Bill Eadie. Bill Eadie was Axe in Demolition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I had to find out who that was. But it was just, going back in time. Oh, Bill Henderson played Charlie. Bill Henderson, for those of you who are science fiction movie fans or who like cult classic films, The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai in the Ninth Dimension, Charles Henderson was in that movie. Or Bill Henderson was in that movie.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah. Great Bill Henderson. But yeah, I mean, and Joan Severance, obviously, all-time dime. Still, 66 years old, still holding it up, man. Gotta tell you. A little bit of the gray in the hair, but that's okay.
No, I got a little bit of gray myself. It happens.
Yeah, so do I. Well, mine's in the beard, not so much. So
yeah.
But this film, when I was a kid, I was like, "Hey, cool! Hulk Hogan's in a film." Because I was a little Hulkster growing up too. We had the merch. We had all the WWE merchandise. We were big WWE fans. So, or back in the day, the Fed. We're all Fed. World Wrestling Federation fans. My brothers and I. We all watched. We all watched Superstars. We all watched Saturday Night's Main Event, or at least had it taped. We had it taped and we watched it the next day after church. But I remember this film. I think it was in. Let's see. I think when it came out, when it was released, either I was still in 6th grade, or it was during the summer of 6th grade.
Okay.
And yep, June 2nd, 1989 release date. So I was just ending the 6th grade at that time.
You were passing 6th grade the Billy Madison way.
Oh man.
Oh man, I didn't expect myself to do that. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's okay. Yeah, rock on!
But this is where our age gap shows a little bit,
Yes.
Ryan. I was 6 years old in 1989 when this film was released.
I was 11 going on 12. So, but I was still a Hulkster back in the day.
Yeah.
And back then, it was a movie. It was just a movie. It was Hulk Hogan. It was a money grab for Miss McMahon and Hulk Hogan, because they were the tops in sports entertainment at that time. Like, if somebody asked you in that time, who is the most recognizable pro wrestler in the world, you would say, unless you lived in Japan,
yeah,
it was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Japan, you could say Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
So for this movie to come out at that time, you're just capitalizing on. It's just basically the WWF, Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan capitalizing on that fame. This is a way to capitalize on that fame. And then you bring in Tiny Lister, who has left this realm. If you don't know who Tom Tiny Lister, he was Debo in Friday. If you remember, I don't know if you ever saw Friday or not.
I have. It's been a long time, but I have.
Yep. He was also in which The Dark Knight. He was also in The Dark Knight. He was on one of the boats, the prisoners in the boat where Joker's trying to convince people to set off the detonators, and he's the one who grabbed it and threw out the window.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I remember that part, but I didn't. That didn't register with me that was him.
Yeah, he passed away a few years ago, which was in 2020. He passed away. So, but he was known as the guy who's 6'5" and jacked to heck.
Oh yeah.
But looking at it, as an 11, 12-year-old, because we would get the summer. We didn't go to the movies back then. I mean, we did. It was something big we wanted to see. Like, we saw Batman in the theater. I saw Batman in the theater the second day it came out.
Wow. Okay. Batman 89. Yeah.
Batman 89 with Tim Burton and Michael Keaton as Batman. The best of the Batmans.
I will agree with you there.
But
I'm a big Bat fan, but yeah, Keaton's the man.
But enough about that. Let's focus on No Holds Barred. But I remember seeing it. My parents rented it. We do pizza movie nights every so often when I was a kid, because we couldn't afford to go out to every movie, obviously. So we'll wait till it was on tape, rented it, had pizza. And as a 12-year-old, you're like, oh, cool. It's Hulk Hogan. He's in an action movie, and there's wrestling, and there's guys beating the snot out of each other. Looking at it as a 47-year-old, though, it's a lot different. You see how you mature as you age. You mature in your watching capacity. You mature in, oh God, this is really bad acting, and this plot line is so wide. It's got you could drive a semi through it. You could tell the sexual tension between Samantha and Rip.
Oh my God.
And you can also find that Brell, played by one Kurt Fuller, it just seems like he plays a villain in just about every movie he's in or every TV show he's in. So, like for example, Ghostbusters 2. He was Hardmire in Ghostbusters 2, and he just seems to play the smarmy villain in every single movie, and this one was no exception. And you can kind of tell this is kind of put together, kind of slapdash.
Oh, for sure.
Because again, they're trying to capitalize. Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan are trying to capitalize on the popularity that they currently have at that time in the WWF. Like they worked hand in hand, arm in arm, on pretty much every single project together until Hogan said, "You know what? I'm going to try acting full time," which is why we saw him in Suburban Commando. Was it Mr. Nanny?
Yeah, Mr. Nanny, I think.
Yep. Yep. And then he did Thunder in Paradise. Then he went to and then he signed with WCW after that. But yeah, you could tell this movie, the acting was hackneyed. The only memorable line I could think that Zeus said was "Raw."
I have to, if she's watching, I don't know if she's watching, but I got to shout her out. Tracy, she was doing her nails while we were watching this. Okay. She had a lot of, commentary, but she said that guy has to have a permanent headache because you nailed it right on the head. That's Zeus's line delivery. He screamed, he snarled, or was trembling with rage.
Or he said his line very quietly, like, what's your name, son? Zeus.
Yes.
Oh my God. Then he had the wrestlers that Zeus would face, such as Klondike Kramer.
Oh yeah, Klondike Kramer.
Brock Chisler. Bulldog McPherson. Lug Wrench Perkins.
Oh, Lug Wrench dies. Lug Wrench gets taken out if I was correct about what I thought I saw.
Do you know the name of the actual person who played Lug Wrench?
No.
Jeep Swenson.
Well, wow.
That was his real name, Jeep Swenson. He's since left this realm as well. He wasn't even 40 when he was barely 40 when he passed away.
Oh, geez,
it was just barely 40. But yeah, you could tell that that kind of slapdash put together. You could definitely tell Vince McMahon had a hand in the script writing.
Oh yeah.
Even though the head writer was Dennis Hacken, according to IMDb, but the acting was poor, the plot line was poor, the writing was poor, the acting was just ugh. But I will say, the action sequences, they held up. They were what you would expect at this time of movie.
They were 80s. They were perfectly 80s. Yeah,
it was definitely like late 80s, early 90s tropes. Also with you gotta have the training montage where you see Zeus working out, pumping iron, fighting other dudes, and you see Hulk Hogan like helping his little brother, Rip, helping his brother recover from Randy.
Yeah,
and I
Rip
thought
and Randy.
Yeah, and I thought his friend's name was Craig. He looked like Walter Goggins, and I'm going,
yeah.
Was Walton Goggins and No Holds Barred? It wasn't.
Yeah, my sister asked the very same question. She thought that person was Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins does goggles.
Yeah.
But I've said it enough. It's definitely I'll say spoiler alert. This is definitely in the bottom of my list right now.
Oh my God.
But I'm going to hand it over to you, and we'll get to some breaking news after I give Dustin his fair shot, seeing it through fresh eyes for the first time, watching this movie, and I'm probably going to have to apologize to him afterwards. But Dustin, I said my piece about this film. What did you think of No Holds Barred? Don't hold back.
I won't. Barred. It's No Holds Barred. Now, okay. So I'm going to jump into this thing. I got a lot to say. I was writing. I didn't have my trusty black notebook with me. So these are typed into my phone, which is why I've been looking at my phone. I am focused on the show, but I've been looking at my phone to refresh my memory.
Mm.
And sometimes, if you've seen my past movie reviews, you know that I do this from time to time. I read from the fever dream that is my notes, and then I go in a little bit. But the first thing I'll say, I'll start with the good in this movie. I liked the beginning sequence because that was just basically a match. And I liked the combination of Jesse Ventura and Gene Okerlund on commentary. I
Yep,
think they could have
right.
made a decent commentary team in real life here.
Well,
Not
you
sure
know
if they.
something, Gene.
Yeah, I'm
Let
not
me
sure
tell
if
you
they.
something.
I'm not sure if they ever paired up in real life, but okay, that's the positive. And then the other positive, if you're a fan of 80s music, Jim Johnson, he produced the heck out of a soundtrack for you. My first note is movie is the perfect candidate for bad movie party. It is. This might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
The soundtrack is full of Jim Johnson bangers. That's what I've got, because Jim Johnson, his music was all over this movie. But the movie is full of tropes. I love the fact that Rip, why they didn't use Hulk Hogan's actual name when they had all the other WWF properties and everything in the beginning, and then all of a sudden he's Rip. We never get Rip's last name,
No,
and
it's
his
just
slogan of "Rip 'em" sucks. And then you got his little brother Randy. But anyway, I love his insistence of wearing his ring attire anywhere. He's in a business meeting, ring attire. He's getting on a plane, ring attire. Rip.
and it's almost always white.
Yes. Yes. He is in his ring attire everywhere. But this movie has tropes all over. You got the smarmy villain played over the top. This guy, there's a podcast I used to listen to, Hollywood Babylon. They had segments, exquisite acting. This is all over this movie because this guy's trying to chew some scenery up. Mr. Burrell. They've got the damsel in distress, of course, because it turns out, oh, she's a double agent. She was recruited by Mr. Burrell to seduce our hero, Rip. They really, really try to go over the top to make Hulk Hogan like holier than thou. He has no flaws as a character. And the whole basis for this movie is essentially, hey, Rip, you want to sign with my network? Name your price. And he's like, no. So then Burrell's like, I will kill this man. That is the whole plot of the movie. You know, it's kind of like saddled around, oh, we got to
I will kill this man because he's killing us in the ratings.
Yes, that's it. It's loosely tied around ratings and stuff, but then it's just like, oh, this man has to die because he turned down my blank check. And you had the two flunky assistants who, of course, bumble things up. You know, they get made fun of. Their manhood gets insulted. A bunch of things happen, but here are my lines. Damsel in distress, check. The Dookie line. I mean, come on. That's the part of this movie I knew. But the Dookie, I knew that.
Smell.
As a 6-year-old, I would have eaten this up. But
you would totally.
Current me, it's a little no. The Death of Lug Wrench. I just have, which I should make a concept album called The Death of Lug Wrench. I think that's going to be a project I have to do. Zeus is ridiculous, which I remember Bruce Pritchard's commentary that he said that Tiny Lister couldn't have been nicer, but they tried to bring him in to the WWF as a result of this movie. And to put it delicately, Bruce said that he was basically what he did as Zeus in this movie is basically the depth he had as a character when it pertained to WWE. Some highlighted lines. There's a couch in the lobby that has more personality than you. Hey, chill out. The bed broke. When they have the hotel room scene where it's like, oh, we don't want to see each other, so we're going to divide the room with a sheet. And, you know, she's in the bathroom and she's like, can you turn out the lights? And she comes out. And then he, of course, you know, they have their like moment where they're fighting and he's doing push-ups very, very fast. No one does
Very
push-ups that
vigorously
fast.
too.
But we know what that joke was supposed to be. I have, why do all the factories in 80s movies have constant sparks and smoke everywhere? This and Batman 1989, that definitely, you go back and you watch Tim Burton's Batman, you'll see a lot of smoke and sparks at the factory where, spoiler, the Joker gets put into a vat of acid, which only disfigures his face. But protecting and the kidnapping of Randy, this whole thing, and then they're like, you have 10 minutes, and he's watching the clock, and then of course the bumbling assistants lose. They kidnap Samantha, and who one of the cringiest scenes in this movie is when Hulk Hogan first meets Samantha. Rip meets Samantha, and he basically devours her with his eyes like a piece of meat. And it's that old cartoon trope of, oh, I can't even talk because this woman is so attractive. But then I'm going to try to cut her legs out from under her rudely while she's giving a presentation. This movie has all the tropes. A bad movie party, if you're having one, put this at the top of the list. Vince McMahon's writing, he's known to have potty humor. It's in this movie. The crudeness, the scenes in the bathroom. Why is there that random kid in this on the top of the, like, in the cage in the bar?
It looks like Peter Dinklage. I think that's Peter Dinklage.
Oh my God! That's
Peter
terrible.
I think he was in No Holds Barred. Let me look it up.
All right, yeah, some real time research. But this, and also the way the women are treated in this movie. I mean, she just gets smacked around. She has to get rescued all the time by Hulk Hogan. She does try to. She redeems herself a bit because she sneaks away from the flunkies, the horrible flunkies, who one of them just goes over the top and goes, I told you to do something, shoot her. And it's like, all these people are willing to kill people because they're getting beat in the ratings. This is insanity.
Love you, Tracy. She's already said, yup, horrid.
Yeah.
We got Funny Vince 28 saying, what's that smell?
It was so bad. And then I'll close with this, Ryan. This whole movie, so the whole trope of like Randy getting like beaten basically to death by
Pretty
Zeus,
much, yeah.
and then Rip has to help rehabilitate him and stuff, and he shows up in the wheelchair and essentially gets pushed and like beaten again. But before all that, there's a scene where Rip is showing, there's more to me than meets the eye. When he goes to the French restaurant and the smarmy waiter is talking about how, he doesn't know what any of this is. And of course, the chefs come and they all know him and they're like, the usual Rip. And he's like, yes. And then he speaks a little French and she's like, there's more to this man than meets the eye. And then he decides, he goes, I'm going to take you. I got a perfect place to take you. And he takes her to this diner, which the lady is like complimenting Rip and saying like, you better lock him down right now, honey. He's so good, going all off. And then 2 robbers come in to rob the diner. And wouldn't you know it, Ryan, Rip proceeds to destroy this diner, basically take it down to the studs, and they're all like, hooray! They all are clapping. Meanwhile, he has caused, and this, I got to give my brother-in-law this one, he was like, they caused way more damage than the robbers would have taken from the diner.
Yes,
the thing is destroyed.
Did you notice the song that was playing during that scene? It was Hank Williams. It was Hank Williams Jr.
Oh, all right. I didn't know.
Rowdy Friends.
Oh man, I didn't catch the Hank Williams because I was under the assumption, incorrectly, obviously, that all the music was done by Jim Johnson. Because at the beginning of the film, it said, music by Jim Johnson. So I didn't think they got the rights to anything. And also, knowing the little bit of background that I know about this movie, and I learned it from another. Yes,
Sorry.
Echo Daddy, I agree with you.
Who robs diners?
I know, it's ridiculous.
And your sister says the best part of the movie was the popcorn I made.
I concur. I concurred. It was delicious. But yeah, bad movie party.
Tracy, Addie, Nick, Nicholas, Dustin. I'm sorry I had to make you go through this movie. I'll make it up to you. I'll make it up to all you. I swear.
No, this is on the list, Ryan. We're putting it for the infamous bad movie party that I still have yet to do. Velocipaster. This. We got some stuff. We got some stuff to do. But the last thing I'll just say, I was under the impression, and I don't know if I might be conflating stories, but if I remember hearing Bruce talk about this movie on Something to Wrestle, there was basically Vince McMahon's response because Hulk Hogan, he wanted to go into acting full time.
Yep.
And Vince McMahon was afraid he was going to lose Hulk Hogan. So he said, well, why don't we make a movie? And that's what they did. And I think most of the world wishes that they hadn't.
Yeah, like your sister said, the best part of this movie was that the popcorn that she made. Well, the best part of the movie was that it was over.
Yeah. It was a cool hour and 33 minutes, including commercials on Tubi. So thank you for that.
Oh, apparently your dog nephew was very entertained by it.
Oh, he liked it.
And Funny Vince 28. I don't know who this is. It might be Nicholas or Nick. Excuse me. Nicholas, he says the Return of Oz better not be on that bad movie list.
Oh, that's definitely Nick. He likes Return to Oz. He tortured my sister with it. So
I did do some real time research while you were going. Peter Dinklage was not in No Holds Barred, although there's somebody, that midget who was throwing coins at the Brel and his lackeys, definitely looked like him. And I did look to see Lugridge Perkins died in No Holds Barred. He did not die. He was just choked out.
Oh, all right. He made it through. Well, happy, but I'm still making an album called The Death of Lugwrench.
We've also got some additional comments from one of our favorites, friend of the show, Mr. Cruz, formerly known as Daniel Smooth. Says, "Doo-doo-doo, banana bus." He also says, that film isn't going to work for me, brother. Which actors he also asks, which actors belong in the Hall of Fame for most punchable face? That's a great topic. Look, Kurt Fuller, the guy who played the booster in last week's film, Blue Chips.
Yeah, Happy.
Mr. Happy, yes. Yeah. Mr. Happy, he definitely has a punchable face, but again, he's no longer in this realm. So
the guy who played Eric in Billy Madison too. That guy.
Oh, that guy, yeah. He was also in West Wing.
Yeah, I remember that. I still gotta watch West Wing.
Me too. Mr. Cruz says, get Dustin in a New York City bar with a few drinks, and suddenly he's Tony Bennett.
Oh man, Cruz! When you'll start to see it as we progress further into Seahawks sessions, but I'll flex the golden pipes anytime.
The golden pipes of Dustin Henry. Who's your Lady Gaga then? If you're Tony Bennett,
let's see. I don't know. I the jury's still out on that one.
All right. I guess we're referring to Kurt Fuller. He says that was Shark Boy and Lava Girl for me. I guess in regards to Kurt Fuller films. I did mention we had breaking news that was actually broken by Mr. Cruz in the comments. So before we go to our commercial break, let's play that bumper. Get some breaking news out of the NBA.
That music for that breaking news.
So apparently the fire sale is still going on in Boston because Kristaps Porzingis has been traded to the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So Boston's kind of blowing it up a little bit here. They said there would be trades. Yeah,
considering that their best player tore his Achilles tendon, he's going to be out for all of next year.
Yeah.
To avoid paying the luxury tax, they're trading. They traded Drew Holiday late last night.
Yep, back to the Blazers.
Back to the back to the Blazers.
Yeah, they
Drew
traded
Holiday and the
him.
Blazers.
Drew Holiday got traded to the Celtics by the Blazers like a couple of years ago.
All right,
Just
let's do some
crazy.
real time research. I remember him on the Bucks, but let's double check.
And also,
He was with the Pelicans. Then he's with Philadelphia. He was the 76ers, then the Pelicans, then the Bucks, then the Celtics. This is his first time being a Blazer, I guess.
All right. Somebody who was involved with that trade was on the Blazers previously and is now back.
Yeah,
So,
and apparently it's a 3-team trade between the Celtics, the Hawks, and the Brooklyn Nets, but details are kind of still sketchy.
still kind of coming out.
Cruz also says your next EP is the demise of the socket wrench.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that as well.
Nick also says Seahawks are. Oh, sorry. Addy says. Seahawks are bad. Go Titans. LOL.
Well, yeah, thanks a lot, Addison. Enjoy Will Levis as your quarterback again next year. Although you got Cam there. You got Cam Ward there now. Yep. So we'll see.
And Cruz was saying that you're probably thinking of CJ McCollum. Or you got traded for or Drew Holiday got traded for CJ McCollum. I can't remember we don't follow the NBA in this program.
Yeah.
All right. That's been this edition of No Ticket Required. Let's take it on out of here.